Fossil Gardens is the sixth full-length album from Greek progressive black metal band Hail Spirit Noir. Now, these guys have a long history in another band, Transcending Bizarre, and somewhere back in about 2010, they switched over to Hail Spirit Noir and kind of put that other band on hold, taking that sort of symphonic avant-garde black metal sound and tempering it into something that was far more progressive and focused on psychedelic black metal at the time, where at a time where bands like Orancy Pazuzu and others were bending the will of black metal in unexpected directions. They weren't necessarily following suit, but they were putting their own spin on it, which was unique to the progressive black metal of the time, I felt. I've been a fan from their second album. I thought it was very impressive for its time. I think Oi Magoi was the kind of record that everyone was recommending at the time of release, but I finally caught up later on and was like, wow, I definitely missed how good that was. If you're a fan of Psy and Code and bands like that, even Borknagar's earlier sound, they became a little bit more progressive in their rhythms. You'll find that a lot of that is in Hail Spirit Noir's sound as they progressed over the years. Context for this record really arrives with Eden in Reverse. Now, we're going to have to overlook their 2021 record, Mannequins. That was a 10-year celebration. It was a dark wave record, a horror synth record. I loved it, but it kind of has nothing to do with their general oeuvre other than their use of synth. So we look to Eden in Reverse and some of its retro synth for expectations as to what this will be, and I like that record quite a bit. I felt like it was so stylized, so well written, so outside the realm of black metal that it was its own thing at the time. Now, Fossil Gardens takes us back to black metal and infuses that sound, and we'll listen to a clip here and see how that turns out. So the way that the band infuses black metal back into their sound in a more serious way is something that it's folkin, it's progressive metal at the same time, it's very melodic in its rhythmic language, and it brings back constant guest vocalist Dimitra Kopalos's sound, and it brings a vibrance to it again. Now, their earlier records were much more aggressive, so we're not fully going back to that place. We're not deleting 2020 from our minds here. So this is more of a direct follow-up to the subject matter and the spirit of that last record, but again, the black metal side of it makes it a little bit more down to earth. It makes it a little bit more of a rhythmic waltz. It is much more centered around rhythm and less about vocal melodies and carrying through all the time. That distorts the shape of what Hail Spirit Noir have established with their last record in a very pleasant, interesting, progressive metal sort of way. And it kind of reminds me of earlier Norwegian progressive black metal, but less brutal into its touch. There's something distinctly atmospheric and aiming for the cosmos about this record too, and that very much fits its themes. So I think the thing to say about this record, and it's a really simple, just kind of gut feeling, is that I kind of liked how far they went with the last record, and this feels like it's a little bit of a regression for the sake of finding something that better represents everything that they're interested in doing with this band. It fully works and it makes for a great record, but it doesn't quite capture my imagination and my attention like the previous one did. Now, that's not that they've lowered the bar, and it's not that they haven't brought in a lot of aspects of that last record. There was some black metal on that record too, but this is very focused on one stream of thought. It all fits together in one consciousness so well that it feels like it flows through too quickly, and it becomes very focused in a way that doesn't feel like it's suspended in time the way that Eden in Reverse did. My only real actual criticism is that it gets to the point, it gets right to the brink of it, and then it just kind of stops and fades out on the last song. And I feel like there was another whole record they could have written on the crest of where they were headed with towards the last song on this record. I would have liked just one more song to help pull it all together as an experience. Otherwise, the production values continue to improve. The performances are, of course, exceedingly professional and impressive. I think the actual songcraft and the detail of it, I didn't focus enough on that on this record, but their incorporation of classic progressive rock influences, a little bit more 80s this time around, feels like it all works together in a way that is distinctly Hail Spirit Noir at this point. It's a moderately high recommendation for me. Check it out and see what you think for yourself. This released on June 28th today, and read my review for more of my thoughts.
The way to all the moment of their infancy, recall